Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Tune In Tuesday. This is Deborah Deras, your hostess with the mostest for another Align for Success podcast. And I know what you're thinking. Deborah Deras, where's your guest? I thought you were having a special guest tonight. Guess what? I have a big announcement. It is officially the start of Mercury in retrograde, where all technology decides to not work. And suddenly, Facebook and Streamyard, which is the third party software that I stream my weekly podcast, suddenly decided not to work. But you know what? When you are aligned for success, you show up no matter what. So here I am because why? The show must go on. And I promised you that I would be here to talk about the ego that is what? Let's say it together. Not your amigo. That right. Ego is not your amigo. So for those of you that it's your first time streaming in for the Align for Success podcast, my name is Deborah Deras. I am your hostess with the mostest here each and every week with the intention of helping you to align for success. What is alignment? It is you are walking the talk. Your inner world reflects your outer world. And when we talk about success, we are not talking about fancy purses or fancy cars. If you saw my car, you'd be like, girl, you're a hot mess. 2008 Nissan. It was kind of embarrassing the other day. My friend lives in a fancy schmancy Santa Monica condo where everybody has a Maserati, and I'm pulling up with my Nissan 2008. I do not care. I could get a new car, but why? Because success to me is not about cars. It is not about material possessions. Success to me is about inner peace, my friends. Inner peace. Success to me is about freedom to work when I want, who I want, and how I want. And for me, I don't work because I don't have a job. I have a joy because my life's soul's contract is to be of service to you, to help you with your alignment, to help you with your soul's contract. And for those of you that don't know my story of how I got into this line of work, people always ask me, well, how did you become a motivational speaker and how did you become a life coach? I never, ever, don't worry, we're going to get to the topic of ego, not your amigo. Stand by, stand by. But how I got started as a speaker, I never thought I would be a speaker. In fact, my goal in life was always to be a teacher. When I was a little girl, me and my little friends would play school. And guess who was the teacher? Moi. What was I teaching? Who the heck knows, right? What the hell was I talking about, right? I have no idea. Well, I'm 7 years old. I had a little whiteboard. You know, a good teacher because they always have markers, different colors in their pocket. I'd pull up my marker, do a little thing because as the reason I love to teach is because I love to learn. So anytime I learn something that helps me, I want to give back and help you, of course. And today's topic, your ego, not your amigo, is intended to help you to be able to align with your goals. Whatever it is that you've set your mind to do, to get your ego out of the way so that you can align with your soul's contract. And I think if the pandemic has taught us anything, it has taught us that we don't have time to wait. We don't have time to procrastinate, that we can't live on the mañana wanna program of I'll go for my goals or I'll go for my vision or I'll take my career or my relationship or my life or my spirituality to the next level. We have to do it now. We're not on the mañana wanna procrastination program. We are on the ahora mismo, right now, let's get it done program. Okay. So we're going to get started with the podcast like we always do. For those of you that don't already know, we are now live on Apple and Spotify. The Align for Success podcast is live. You just, if you prefer podcasts that are audio, you don't want to look at me, I'm not offended. It's not about my ego. You could go to your little phone and search Apple Podcasts for Align for Success TV. Or you could go to Spotify, Align for Success TV, or Google Podcasts. Guess what? You'll find our earlier episodes. They're all there. And by the way, to help you to be aligned, we also have a text line where you can text the keyword align, ALIGN, 1-844-920-1572. 72 was a good year for me. Yes, I was alive in 72. Don't judge me. I'm on the J Lo Fine Wine program, getting better with time. Oh, yeah, that's how I am. So you can text that number and be informed. All right. The other thing I wanted to let you know is follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Why do you want to follow me on YouTube and Instagram? At Latina Speaker, because I have goodies for you. I have all of these cool gifts. I don't know if you know this, but I have been a busy little bee, Debbie, during quarantine, and I've been making video after video after video. And I made this 3-part video series on mindset, marketing, and manifestation to help you to ignite your revenue. Ooh, yeah. So you can download those free videos right from my Instagram. Go to at Latina Speaker, click on the link in the bio. Boom. You have mindset. So let's talk about mindset, shall we? Because that is our topic for the day. Your ego is not your amigo. And what is the ego? You already know. Feel free, by the way, because hi, Lenora, because I don't have a guest. You are my host, and I am the guest. So please ask me questions along the way. This is an interactive podcast. So the ego that's not your amigo. Do you know what the ego is, Lenora, and everybody listening? EGO. It is edging good out or edging God out, whatever you want to say. But the ego is not our amigo because guess what the ego's full time job is? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Its full time job is to keep us stuck, to keep us stagnant, to keep us comfortable. But do you know? Hi, Danielle, gorgeous one. She's so gorgeous. I call her D Glow. Um, she just glows, right? So when we are on the path of growth, which we're either growing or we're stagnating, we're either transforming or we're stuck, right? So I would like to say we're all on the path of growth because we're going forward, right? But when we are on the path of growth, anytime that we take a step forward into the uncertainty, something we don't know, like maybe starting a new business or shifting a new path in our career or starting a new path in school or maybe starting a new hobby or new habit. The ego will always have this loud voice. Do you know what it says, Danielle Deglow? You know what it says? It says, who do you think you are to do this, right? Who do you think you are trying to be a whatever your next phase in your evolution is? It's always going to second guess you. Why? Because it's full-time job to edge good out. Or I don't even want to say good, greatness. Because when we're going forward on our path, we're on the path to greatness. And my mentor, Dr. Michael Beckwith, will always say, mediocrity will always challenge excellence. That's right. Mediocrity will always challenge excellence because the ego just wants us to stay small, where everybody else is just staying home and they're watching Dancing with the Stars. Nothing wrong with watching Dancing with the Stars. Go Cody, boo crew. But they're staying home. But you want to do something bigger. You want to grow your business. You want to go back to school. You want to open yourself up to love, a new relationship, whatever it is that's your next path. You have one foot on the gas, baby, and ego pulls up the parking brake. Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? And it starts all of this loud self talk, all of this loud limiting beliefs, right? But this is not the truth of who we are. The truth of who we are is limitless. The truth of who we are is infinite. I believe that we are here because we have unique divine talents. We have skills, we have abilities, we have specialties, and we're here to fulfill a specific soul's contract. Some of you may call it life purpose, right? You're here to do something very, very special. And so we cannot afford to let the ego be in the driver's seat of our life. We need to take over the wheel and say, ego, you are not my amigo. Fuera pa la calle. My favorite Puerto Rican salsa band is El Gran Combo, also Mark Anthony. And one of the favorite songs by El Combo is Fuera pa la calle. Fuera pa la calle. That means outside, get out the door. Outside, get out the door. Ego, outside, get out the door. You know why? Because we are not on that program anymore. If the pandemic taught us anything, is that fear has to be our friend, that we can't go around it, we can't go under it, we have to go through it. We have to face our fear. And I have to tell you something, Thomas. Nice to see you, Thomas. Saw you on the dance floor the other day. We have to face our fear. And I have to tell you, in fact, I have to kind of pour my heart out because our guests, we had technical difficulties. Our wonderful guest, Pejman, who will be back, but he couldn't stay because he had another appointment. He's all about aligning people with sobriety. And I must confess with you that, when it comes to fear, I have had to face a lot of demons, because over the past 12 years, going through a hard divorce, going through losing real estate properties, going through losing my sense of identity, ego, losing the sense of who I thought I was as a married person, as a real estate investor, as a whatever. And when I was allegedly losing everything, because we really don't lose everything. We All possessions, all situations in our life are temporal. Everything in our life, conditions, people, places, and things are all temporary. The only thing that is true and infinite is our soul's contract, our soul's purpose, our soul. There's no beginning and no ending with our soul, right? The energy that's underneath. And I have to tell you, the fear that has paralyzed me, I'm going to admit it on this stage. Hi, Gigi. My fear has been driving. Can you believe it? Some of you drive, it's like part of your daily living. It's nothing for you. You get in the car, you're listening to your favorite music, you're listening to your favorite podcast, and you're going, going, going. Hi Danielle, me in the car, even as a passenger, people know that have driven with me, I am terrified. I am in a panic, right? But it's my ego that's not my amigo that's saying, danger, danger, danger. And I realized, I've overcome so many things in life, lost everything, rebuilt my business, lost all my credit score, rebuilt my credit, got debt free, lost everything, rebuilt. But that one last thing of driving a car, right? Of facing my fear, not going around it. Uber, Lyft, can I get a ride? Can I ride my bike? Can I roller skate? Can I get on a skateboard? Is there a scooter around? Living in Venice Beach has really enabled my fear of driving, because when you live on the beach, you don't have to drive. Nobody drives here. Everybody uses a scooter, or because there's no parking, right? But I have decided that because my ego is not my amigo, I have to face my fear, right? Went to hypnotherapy, went to EFT, went to tapping, all of it, transformational work, the inner work for the outer results. And now I'm about to go to driving school, to face my fear, to get in that car, to get behind the wheel and say, I am going. Because in life, when we let our fear stop us, what happens? We lose opportunities to fulfill our potential. We lose opportunities to be fully present in life. We lose opportunities because we're allowing fear to be the leader rather than allowing our soul's purpose to be the leader. And recently, I had the opportunity over this last week, Friday, to speak for the first time to a group of live people. I have been in the pandemic since March 2020, sitting on this couch speaking. And to get to the speaking engagement, guess what you have to do? Drive. Most of my speaking engagements, Gigi, have been like in the plane. I go to Oakland, go to San Francisco, go to Miami, go to Fort Lauderdale, go to Texas, go to Arizona, go to New Mexico. But now, as I'm rebuilding my speaking career, the events are local. To get to a gig in East LA was 2 hours and 15 minutes. If I took Uber, that would have cost me probably like $200. I had my wonderful creative director drive me. Thank God for that one. But there are more people that I need to be in front of. The service that I have to do in the world, not my job, my joy, is beyond the realm of Venice Beach. And in order for me to fulfill that soul's contract that I signed when I said I was staying here, because there was a time in my life I didn't want to stay here. When my brother passed away when I was 19, he was 16, I thought, what kind of world is this if they would take a young boy? And I remember my brother David, he came to me in a dream because I was very despondent, did not want to live, and was taking steps at 19 that was very destructive, not on the path of growth and soul's contract. And my brother told me in a dream that my soul's contract was to be of service and to be a leader and to be a teacher, and that it wasn't my time to go. And when I woke up from that dream, instead of being depressed and out of integrity with my soul, I came back to having purpose. And I realized that my going forward as a speaker, my going forward as an author, my going forward as a consultant was not only fulfilling my soul's contract, but was living out the destiny of my brother. That I would be able to allow his 16 years on this earth, his legacy, and everything he taught me about unconditional love because he had a disability, he had epilepsy. That's what he passed away from, a seizure. That his life would not be in vain because I was not going to throw my life away. I was going to be purposeful. That every day when I woke up, I would ask myself, how can I serve? Who can I serve? How can I use my talents, my skills, my abilities to give back to the world? And I'm making a decision today that I am not letting the fear of driving or the fear of, it's really not driving, it's claustrophobia. Like I feel um, cramped when I'm in the car, like not cramped, like suffocated. And I probably feel suffocated because I had a trauma experience where I was attacked and assaulted and raped. And it's not something I ever talk about. But you know what? My ego is not my amigo. And if I show up on Facebook and I'm always happy and I'm always looking perfect and I'm always looking like everything's together, that's not the real truth of humans. Humans have emotions, right? Panache Desai, my spiritual teacher, says emotions are energy in motion. And I'm sure if our guest was here, Pej, who talks about sobriety, in sobriety, they say your sick is your secrets, right? And so the secret that I've been holding that has been causing trauma that has showed up as a fear of driving is really a fear of living, right? It's not driving, it's living and being fully expressed. However, when we say it out loud, whatever is stopping us, we become free. We become liberated. We are not blocked anymore. We are not living stagnation with our hand on the parking brake and our foot on the gas. I gotta take a breath. We are liberated. We're liberated when we speak our truth out loud, right? It allows other people to relate to us. Then we're not alone. Then we don't have to suffer in silence. We could feel like, you know what? Other people have gone through this. And guess what? They've made it out the other side. They've made it through it. And we can too, right? But we have to remember the ego that's not the amigo that says you need to be perfect. Guess what? Nobody's perfect. We are here in life as practitioners. Every day, we have the ability and the opportunity to practice. We have the ability and the opportunity to practice being better than we were the day before. We are not comparing ourselves with other people. We're comparing ourselves with who we were yesterday and how we can wake up today and be even better. Be more, when I say alignment, it's about being in integrity with our soul. And there were so many times in these past 12 years of integrating with not being married, integrating with living by myself, integrating with running my own business, integrating with who God wants me to be in the world, not who my ego wants me to be. My ego wants me to play small, be in the background, not shine so bright. My ego does not want me to be on Facebook Live when my technology difficulties happened and the guest had to leave, my ego's like, "You should just go eat dinner," right? "You should just go take a walk." But my higher self, which is where I operate from, where we can operate from, my intuitive guidance system, that IGS, that GPS that we have inside of us, says, "It's not about you. It is about them. You need to show up. You need to show up each and every day and be in integrity. Keep your commitments. You said you were showing up. There's a delay. Show up when you can. People will get benefit out of it." And it's not about showing up perfect. It's about showing up imperfect and saying, "You know what? I'm imperfect because I'm human." Let me drop the mic. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. Can I cry? I didn't want to cry, but crying is human, right? Crying is human, right? Not everything looks pretty. Not everything looks good. Sometimes in life there are roadblocks. Hey, JI, so glad you're here. There are things that throw us off our path. And if we let them derail us, then we will be permanently, coming back into alignment, coming back. But that's the wonderful thing about our journey. Our journey isn't straight. Our journey is a roller coaster ride with twists and turns. But if we have a source, which I call God, that grounds us and allows us to be anchored and realigned, then we can come back on course and say, "You know what? Tomorrow will be better. Next show, technical difficulties won't happen. Everything will be great," right? But it's about showing up to be of service, not showing up for self. I have a lot of clients that I coach in small business that don't want to be on camera because of their self-conscious of themselves. But when we realize that when we show up, it's not about ourselves or for ourselves, but about serving others, we can get out of our own way in our lives. And that's what I'm about to do. I'm going to get out of my own way so I can drive to my mom's house in Lancaster, drive to my dad's house in Camarillo, drive to my best friend's house in San Diego. Sky's the limit. And I know there are places that you want to drive to, maybe not physically, but metaphorically. Maybe you want to drive to a new level in your career. Maybe you want to drive to a new level in your intimate relationships. Maybe you want to drive to a new level in your business. And what I'm going to invite you to do, and we're going to do this together, is to release the parking brake and to put your foot on the gas. And no, you don't have to go fast. It's not the hare, it's the turtle that wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. On my keychain, I have not one, but two little turtles. They fell in love. So they're together, right? And guess what? Slow and steady wins the race. The ego wants to be first and fast, but our higher self, our intuitive guidance system knows everything happens and it's divine right time and it's divine right order. Isn't that true? Super true. Cool. So I'm so grateful that you guys stayed with me. I'm open if you have questions, since apparently I'm the guest on my show. Hi, Jeremiah. Oh my God, I love your show. I watch your show for like 3 hours. I can't even stop when I'm on your podcast. So I'm open and receptive if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, we can just do a quick podcast and wrap up, let you get back to your life. But I just wanted to be real with you. Be real, be authentic, show up as my imperfect self, show up to be of service, show up so that hopefully something I said had an impact and a positive influence on your life. You know, when my brother passed at 16 and I decided to go forward because of his inspiration, every day I wake up to be of service to you. And any way I can support you, I am here. That's what I'm here to do. So thank you so much. Thank you. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. We are here each and every week for the Align for Success podcast, creating your inner world that creates your outer world. And I really appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Lenora. Thanks, everyone. And for all of you watching the replay, I have some amazing guests coming up. A lot of musicians that I didn't expect that were going to be on my podcast coming up in the month of October. I think I have three amazing people talking about the inner work for the outer results to be able to align for success. My name is Deborah Deras. I am your hostess with the Moses, reminding you that with the power of synergy, anything is possible. Ciao. See ya.